spicy.
Okay, no. I do put red pepper flakes on them, and I care.
Made fun of that woman for days.
A pepperoni pizza out of the box. Ooh, it's spicy.
She was like, "Why is this so spicy?" Asking her husband, "What did you put something on this?" And he's like, "No."
Okay, I've never had that.
I mean, she just had a baby, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Oh, that could be because doesn't like babies fuck up all of your senses? It's like things are too spicy, things are too hot, things are too cold, things don't taste good
They're in the
enough.
womb just reconnecting neurons.
Yeah,
I'm like, let's fuck this up.
like oh, you like peanut butter? Not anymore. Oh God, if I ever have a baby and I end up hating peanut butter, that baby is Satan. That is
You
me.
want to shove a pickle in the toaster and put it in and wrap it in risotto and eat it with
And
a
dunk it
shovel.
in nacho cheese.
That doesn't sound that bad.
That sounds kind of
A
gross to
pickle
me.
risotto with nacho cheese. There could be a way to make that tasty, other than eating it with a shovel. That you don't have to do.
Just like dunk, like get the dirtiest shovel you can.
Just
Extra flavor.
you know your garden trowel. That
I want this.
I want
I want
that.
it earthy. I want an earthy, natural
I want an
taste.
earthy, girthy pickle taste.
That's so gross.
I feel like that's a good note to start the episode on. Also, I've been recording for the last 20 minutes.
Oh my God, have you?
Yeah.
Hey, well, welcome.
Bienvenidos, amigos y amigas, al Surfing Pleasure Podcast. Yo soy, me llamo Ethan Jesse.
Joy soy. No.
Joy soy. Because I remembered that soy can't be used for my name. I'm Ethan Jesse.
And I'm Harry Yost. Wait, why would soy be used as your name?
It's not. I just said it isn't. Soy is used for,
Right, but
adjectives.
oh, what's soy?
Am, or is, or are.
Oh, I just immediately went to soy sauce, and I was like, why would your name be like soy sauce?
My name is Soy.
Last name sauce.
This is not the podcast where we talk about Spanish grammar, but it is the podcast where we talk about trashy romance novels.
The best kind of novels, if you ask me.
It's been gone for like the last 6 episodes. This is Bone Rider episode something
Chapter 9.
named the Earthier, Girthier flavor.
Because now
It's our first podcast episode with the title.
We should title all of our podcasts.
I'm not gonna go back.
Well, we don't have to go back. I'm saying going forward.
Just from
Look
this
to the future, Ethan.
Just from this point on.
From this point on, we are going to name our podcasts episodes, title them.
Like how Exotic Erotic has been doing since they started.
Hey, you know what? Maybe.
Fuck it, they're doing well.
Hey, I still haven't listened to an episode of theirs, so don't tell them that I told you that.
They don't listen to ours.
So really, I think it's only natural that I don't take the time.
I listen to theirs, they're behind. Did you want to give a recap?
Sure.
What's going on?
So, okay, so this is what's going on. Riley now knows that System 6 is in him. So where Riley before was wondering what was going on because like he was experiencing all these weird kind of things, now has had a legitimate conversation with System 6 in his hotel room before getting into his couch potato slouch that he has an alien armor system in him. And Riley, I think, is accepting it.
And then who are the other characters? So System 6 escaped from an alien crash from the military.
Yeah, like they crashed, the military came in, and then there was just warfare.
There was warfare, and then pretty much everyone in the military died, and so did all the aliens, except System 6, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
And then,
but System 6 probably was thankful because he hated his alien host anyway, so...
Rick.
Rick.
And then there's more characters. Misha and Kolya with the mob, and then Misha, who is gay, is being forced to marry some woman for the family.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah, no, I just wanted to remember that I had every storyline out
Yeah.
there because
Oh
it's
my god,
been a while.
it's been so long. Oh god, now I'm excited to revisit Misha's story. Because yeah, Misha's dad, who is the godfather of this mob,
Right.
that's right, wants him to get married. And
Hmm.
Misha's like, but I like Riley still. And
Yeah.
I want to get Riley back. But Riley does not want Misha back.
We don't know that.
That's true.
We don't know that. Something happened. Riley ran away, but he still kind of has feelings for Misha, as far as I understand.
What do you think he witnessed that made him run away?
I don't have enough evidence to make any claims.
I'm thinking it's like, have you ever seen Connie and Carla?
No.
If you said yes, I would have been really surprised. But Connie and Carla is about two women who witness a mob hit, and then they go on the run and they dress up as drag queens so they could do dinner theater shows and be in hiding from the mob. It's quite fun.
That doesn't sound like the right way to hide.
Fun had by all. Perhaps a little offensive at times, but fun had by all.
It was a pre 9/11 world. You could do anything.
Well, this I think happened in like 2008.
It was a pre 9/11 world.
But it's good.
Only 7 years after a national tragedy.
It's what is time but just a social construction? I'm not going to continue that because I know we are.
Hey, NASA's lying to you. You ain't never seen the sun. You only seen what NASA showed you.
We are all just living in some kind of digital world where like everything is just a projection. This is like the Matrix. I was actually talking to someone about this, and if he's listening, hey Alec, remember when you were talking about how like he's convinced that we all are like the Matrix? We're all actually in pods, and people are controlling what we do.
I'm shaking my head for those of you who can hear me. Also, we're still doing a podcast.
Cast.
Hey, hey, brains and jars. We're the cast directed directly to your pod. Thanks for being a battery to the system.
I have to say though, like if we are living in pods and that's a real thing, damn, whoever's in control of me must be like, why did I get the boring one? All she does is like go to bed at 11 on Friday nights.
Yeah, whoever the fuck is in charge of that hypothetical system, they're not getting a lot out of it. And whoever's running the simulation to make it look normal must be bored out of their goddamn mind.
Yeah, right.
Unless it's all pre-programmed AI and shit. I don't know. But that's not the type of sci-fi that we're talking about in Bone Rider. In Bone Rider, we're talking about aliens.
We're talking about romance.
We're talking about Bone Rider, Chapter 9. The military personnel working at Camp Jackson had seen their share of unusual and top-secret things. Sometimes it was hard to tell why anybody bothered to label the objects and or people coming through the basement as classified.
Ooh, I like how basement is capitalized.
Well, yeah, because that's what they call Area 51. No,
I think it's what they call the basement, that they just hide things.
It's the basement. The basement. Other times, it seemed a good idea to simply do one's job and shut one's trap. And then there were times when even the most bored-to-death grunt would feel a prickle of excitement in the air that made them sit up and pay attention. The arrival of the Texas convoy was such an event. There was something about the way the transport had been assigned top priority, about the faces of the guards as they helped unload the 3 unremarkable hazmat containers. Nobody knew anything, and nobody was going to ask. But within the hour, Camp Jackson was humming with interest and quiet speculation. Down on Sublevel 8, in the forensic labs, the whispers were more subdued, though no less intense. The boxes were carried into a high-security lab and left there unopened until the security protocols were enabled. The forensic team of 4 under the command of Lieutenant Dr. Leandra Butler scrubbed down and donned hazmat suits and masks, a precaution they were used to, but that still made most of them a bit quizzy.
A bit quizzy in the gut.
Just a bit quizzy in the gut.
A bit quizzy. They could be like a good R&B, like, boots and cats, quizzy in the gut.
I was going to say a little quizzy.
I obviously have a future in R&B, hip hop, rap style.
Those are all very different things that you just
Yeah, they
listed. R&B, rap, same thing.
It's the same, right?
It's the
No.
same. Not quite so tame.
It's the same if I want them to be the same.
Great rapping, Harry.
Do you
Great.
like how I rhyme same
Same
with
as
same?
same? Mm-hmm.
I thought really hard on that one. It just came to me naturally. I was like, this seems right. I'm also excited because Dr. Leandra Butler, this might be the first woman that we've had
Yeah,
phone writer.
I was thinking that. So we'll see who plays her most naturally.
Obviously you.
Obviously me, because I'm on the side that has a microphone without coming out of a speaker.
And my voice already sounds like a character of a cartoon animal, so.
So you're gonna be playing Dr. Leandra Butler.
Okay.
Scrubbed down and donned hazmat suits and masks, a precaution they were used to, but that still made most of them a bit queasy deep down in their gut. It was a normal reaction to the unwieldy outfits and the limited field of vision caused by the mask, and as uncomfortable as it could be, it also helped. I didn't do any warm-ups. It also kept them on their toes and helped avoid complacency.
I
Not
like
that
how you act like I do warm-ups. I
What?
barely can read.
I have small eyes. And not that they were in any danger of treating this as an ordinary case. If it had been an ordinary case, they'd have done CT scans, MRIs, and maybe an ultrasonograph before sending in people. But since they didn't know what X-rays, magnetization, or high-frequency sound would do to these bodies, the autopsy was going to be done the old-fashioned way first. They were suited up. The team filed through the airlock security doors that were sealed behind them. This had only happened once so far, and there wasn't one of them who didn't feel discomfited by it. Does that say discomfited?
Discomfited. Is that a word?
I trust Jay Fally that that's a word.
I definitely trust, but just comforted. Why don't I use discomfited?
Discomfited.
Discomfited.
We read for a living, but we don't know words.
Story of my life. Or I do the thing sometimes where I think I'm going to use a word in its correct way, and then I realize that I don't actually know how to use it, so then it's coming out of my mouth, and I'm like, no.
That's not a word, that's just puking.
That was just me. I get so nervous that I just mom. That's how I speak now.
Yep, I expect you to. Nobody, no matter how professional, likes to be reminded that ultimately they're expendable.
All right, people.
Dr. Butler said, getting them on track with familiar gruffness.
Let's open them up.
So they broke the seals and worked the locks and clasps and finally, carefully, very, very carefully, lifted the lid off the first box. It took a while to transfer the contents from the container to the autopsy table. The body was surprisingly heavy for being so small, and almost completely doubled over in a tight ball of ruined tissue.
Ooh.
It was blackened, crumbly, and parts of the sooty film that covered it flaked off when their gloved hands touched it.
Weird texture.
Dr. Rogner observed.
Oh, that's a different doctor.
Yeah. Doctor.
Doctor.
Did I play Dr. Rogner?
Yeah, you play Dr. Rogner.
Weird texture, Dr. Rogner observed, lifting a broken-off piece of what looked like a finger out of the crate and examining it carefully. Is this metal? It did sound like metal when he put it on the table next to the body. It's an armor system! And it clunked down with notably more emphasis than charred flesh or bone. Then it fell apart. They all looked as one at the pitiful heap of crusty material, then at the corpse, half expecting it to follow suit. But when it didn't, they breathed a collective sigh of relief.
New orders.
Dr. Butler said flatly.
Touch very fucking carefully. Next box.
Nobody had a clue what exactly they were dealing with here, except for the very real possibility that it was a bona fide extraterrestrial being.
Wow, is that
Bona fide. Which was admittedly exciting, but it also meant they were flying blind. They discussed potential procedural methods beforehand, among other things, whether it was smarter to examine the bodies one at a time or together. Dr. Rogner insisted that it might have been safer to keep two in their boxes while working on the third, for preservation purposes if nothing else. But fact was, they didn't know how well the hazmat containers would keep the remains.
But here's my question: why don't you just put them in the freezer for a bit?
You don't know what cold temperatures would do to them? They don't know what anything would do to these things. They're aliens. It's an alien.
Yeah, but they have 3 of them. Use one as a freezer test.
You only have 3 of them.
Yeah, so you have 1 as a test and 2 as backup.
Okay, so they have 3. They put 1 in the freezer. That one gets destroyed. Now you only have 2 to test on and research. And you can't tell if they're... That's bad experimental design, Harry.
Obviously, I am a great scientist and should be hired as such. So, NASA.
Like, you can even consider breaking off a part of it? I'm a scientist, I know.
I'm a scientist. I can do what I want.
I'm a soft scientist. I'm squishy. In the end, they decided to get them all out, put them on display so they'd be able to draw comparisons. Boom! Told you! Get pictures and video footage of them all next to each other.
And then put 1 in the freezer.
And then put 1 in the freezer, right next to the peas. Actually, the carefully regulated environment of the lab was probably better suited to conserve the corpses than the containers. It was the transfer from A to B that was the tricky part. But the team was well rehearsed and heaved the brittle treasure into the light with tremendous caution and skill. The second body much resembled the first, small, curled in on itself, and heavy. They set it down like a raw egg, holding their breath until they were reasonably sure it wouldn't break apart and turn to ash. It came to rest on its side, and Dr. Butler leaned in closer in fascination. When she saw the back wasn't quite as badly destroyed as the rest of the creature.
This is case number TX01 201-60615, unidentified subject 2. The body is...
She checked the markings on the table and the display of the integrated scales.
50 inches tall and weighs 132.121 pounds. 132.121 pounds? It doesn't matter. It appears humanoid, but the skull is elongated and the knee joints appear inverted. Either that, or we are dealing with an animal type of bone structure, which would make this the tarsus. What's a tarsus?
If it's like metatarsals, like the fingers?
Oh. Well, at first I read it as Taurus, and I got excited, and I was like, represent! And then I realized that we were talking about zodiac signs here. The body is badly burnt. Dermis and epidermis appear mostly carbonized, except for parts of the upper back.
She nodded at her assistant, who was in charge of taking pictures, and pointed.
I want close-ups of this and this.
So I think that the case number has the date, TX01-2016-0615. I think that the exact date that this is being presented as is
June 15th?
June 15th, 2016.
Oh my god.
So this takes place like 3 months ago.
Oh my god.
That's cool.
This is so cool, and it makes me wish that we read this in June.
Yeah.
So it could be like happening now.
Yeah, if we read this in June, then we wouldn't have read the fucking other piece of shit book that we read.
Yep. But you know what? We all had to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. We come from humble beginnings.
And even
humbler, less listened to growth.
Yes, exactly. This is just making us stronger and better.
We're so strong.
So strong.
My bones are being ridden. Earthy, girthy, strength, beautiful, Covergirl. Earthy, girthy, beautiful, Covergirl.
Covergirl?
That's the title.
I love it. Dr. Leandra, she's the Earthy Girthy.
I'm Earthy Girthy.
Beautiful Covergirl.
The camera clicked quietly as Elaine Rockford moved around to find the perfect angles for her pictures. Another female character.
No, but I thought Dr. Rockford was a boy. Who was the other
Dr.
doctor
Rogner.
that you... Oh, you're Dr. Rogner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yay, okay, good. Well, of course, Dr. Leandra Butler would have a female assistant because girl power, right?
It's true.
Gotta help your sisters out.
I bet Rogner's dumb as fuck and doesn't know anything.
Right, exactly. Ragnor's just there for no reason.
Not emotional support.
Definitely not emotional support.
Man, can't do that.
Useless. All of you, useless.
Dr. Butler let her work for a minute or two, then moved in again and continued her initial assessment.
Oh, shit. Your page just went. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. The tissue. Okay. The tissue along what appears to be the left shoulder blade and about halfway down the spine is in better condition than the rest of the body. The texture looks organic in the upper section, metallic in the lower.
She reached up and pulled down the mechanical arm holding the magnifier to zoom in on the area.
Huh.
She grunted, surprised.
This is no shell armor or piece of clothing. It appears the metal is fused to the body on a subdermal level.
She frowned a little and squinted through the lens, intrigued.
This might have been caused by the high temperature and pressure generated during the explosion, but...
She shook her head and trailed off, knowing they'd have to do a full autopsy on the body to make it yield its secrets. They'd get to it. They had time.
Last box,
she ordered.
Let's see if number 3 has something else to tell us before we go in.
The third corpse, as it turned out, was special indeed. More damaged, for one. Despite their utmost care, it broke in two when it touched down on the metal surface of the autopsy table. They tried to stabilize the halves, but the scrawny, crispy neck couldn't take the pressure and snapped like a little twig.
God.
It reminds me too much of myself.
I mean, you are.
Scrawny and crispy.
Hey!
I'm a little piece of bacon that was overcooked in the microwave.
There should be like, if you ever have, do you have a Tinder profile? If you have a Tinder profile, that should be your bio. I'm a scrawny, crispy little piece of bacon. Hey, ladies!
I'll break if you touch me and I don't taste very good.
But love me.
But love me anyway. Which is deceptive because there's quite a bit of fat on me.
Hey. You just have to get through the crisp to find what's underneath.
It's a lot of fat. Crispy on the outside, fat and mushy and sad on the inside.
Yeah!
I'm not that sad.
If you are.
Yeah, I am.
We all have a little bit of sadness deep down in us.
Everybody gets a little sad sometimes.
Everybody sometimes just has to sit in the dark and let the tears just flow down their cheeks.
I can't tell if I'm vomiting.
No, you're crying so hard. It's like when you do such an intense, ugly cry that you have to vomit.
Oh, yeah, because you're disgusted with
obviously. And then, like, I'm not going to continue
I wish I cried like...
I hope you do cry like that. That's amazing. You know, I have not, like, really hard cried in a while, but I know it's will be like...
Neither do I miss it because it's.
I think that's how I cry.
Crying is funny.
Crying is really funny. Like if you got like the really hard cry, like sometimes you got like the cute cries. You're like, like I mean.
The movie criers, like the.
Yeah, I'm doing the movie cry. Thank
shit.
you. Because I was gonna say, like, was that movie worthy?
Mm-hmm, it was.
But then sometimes you have the cry, like I had when you're watching Atonement, and you're sobbing the entire time. It's an hour and a half of just sheer sobs. And you're so thankful that no one else is home to witness the sorrow that is Atonement.
Whoa, why? Like that.
All she wanted to do is vomit.
Like a donkey cry.
And you're like trying to breathe and you can't. Yeah. You just sound like an old man.
I'm just dying.
You just like an old man, like, oh, dying is coming, crickets.
It's like that scene in Click where Adam Sandler's dying on the road.
Oh my god, I sobbed.
Wish that he did.
My mom and I watched Click, and toward the end, I was like, my mom's like, whoa, what's happening? I'm like, look away, Mom, look away.
Adam Sandler's career is ending the way it should. It wouldn't have been a bad movie to go out on, is all I'm saying. It was alright. I liked it.
It clearly had an effect on me, considering I sobbed.
I enjoyed it. There's the scene where he actually gets to dance with his daughter. It's a good one.
let's not talk about this. I'm going to start.
We're not talking about Click.
God.
They tried to stabilize the halves, but the scrawny, crispy neck couldn't take the pressure and snapped like a little twig. Dr. Butler's basketball training kicked in and she managed to catch the skull before it could shatter.
Boom! Like a beat, like a boss. Dr. Butler. I also love like that little bit of just random backstory. Dr. Butler's basketball training. I now know so much about her. I bet that she played on her college basketball team.
She frowned down at the fragile, fire-blackened ball of bone. Shit, that's cool. Noting how tiny it looked in the cradle of her big, bright yellow gloves. Dainty as a child's. But then, they'd picked up on how much lighter than the other two bodies this one was when it lifted from the container. The sound it had made on the impact had been that of an extremely burnt carcass, not that of an extremely burnt carcass suffused with metal. The team crowded around the table, puzzled by the differences, pointing out how this corpse was all stretched out instead of curled up, its overall condition much worse than the others. Fractures visible in the blackened skin, bones splintered badly, some of them looking as if they'd been bust open from the inside. Maybe...
I bet this is the body that System 6 used to...
Maybe? Oh, shit, you might be right.
That's why there's no metal in him.
That's
and they're like, wow, something busted out. Because it's probably like that scene in Alien. Bang! Pass out of the chest.
Except it was in the bone, so it would, like, break out of the sternum itself, which is cool.
Oh, God, yeah.
Maybe this is something else, Dr. Rogner suggested, doubtfully. Behind them, Elaine Rockford, Butler's assistant, cleared her throat.
Ma'am? It has the same shape and body type.
Dr. Butler mused, ignoring her in favor of the skull in her hands.
If the metal was some kind of armor, then my guess would be that this one wasn't suited up when the missile hit it. But if that was the case, it shouldn't be in one piece. Ma'am?
Elaine piped up again.
You might want to have a look at this. What is it?
Dr. Butler asked, slightly irritated by being asked to abandon her line of thought, but too aware of the urgency in her assistant's voice to blow her off again.
It's a hole,
Elaine said nervously.
In the bottom of the crate?
Dr. Butler's eyes widened behind the mask. She handed the skull to Dr. Rogner, who immediately froze so as to not endanger the priceless bone.
A hole?
Dr. Butler stalked over to the box in question to peek inside.
If the container was contaminated, that might explain the...
She stopped, almost swallowing her tongue when she realized what had her assistant so rattled.
Fuck me,
she whispered.
I also love that she said, fuck me. Like, I'd say that. I am Dr. Butler. I'm like, fuck me, man.
A lot of people say, oh, fuck me.
You know what, Ethan, don't ruin this moment for me. I am
fuck me!
I'm feeling good. I hope your parents just heard that. They're like, what, Ethan? I said no trashy Skype calls.
They know. They're the only ones that listen to this podcast.
Good.
They're going to listen to it again in like an hour. It's
Good.
not going to take me an hour to edit this episode.
Anyway, so fuck me.
But so fuck me, she whispered. And the switch from consummate professional to freaked out individual almost made Rogner drop the burnt head in his hands.
Oh,
What?
Ragnar, useless.
What? He asked, stepping closer as well. He wasn't the only one. Within moments, the team gathered around the box, jostling for position to stare at the hole.
This was made from the inside.
Dr. Butler declared tonelessly.
This facility might have been compromised. I'm initiating lockdown.
She strode over to the communication unit, into a wall panel, next to the bulletproof observation window.
This is Lieutenant Dr. Leandra Butler. I'm calling it Code Red. I repeat, Code Red. Seal the base.
Damn it. Shit like this wasn't supposed to happen outside of movies. End of chapter 9. Because it happens in books.
Because it happens right here. I also love how it's like, this is supposed to happen outside of the movies, and they talk about this, and I really love that it acts like this is real life. That
this
we're in a book. This is real life. We're all surprised that this possibly happened.
This is the cool shit that, like, I like Bone Rider for.
Yeah!
Just the raw science fiction.
Because it's raw science fiction, is that what you said?
It's raw science fiction. It's cool. It's nifty.
I like it.
We get cool, like, subject numbers that give the day's date like you would in a normal lab.
Right? I wonder how much research J. Fally did to write this book. Do you think she went to Area 51 and, like, actually handled some alien corpses so she would know how they would fall apart?
I don't know. I think they're just well versed in their sci-fi because they reference a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Do you think J. Fally worked for NASA? Works for NASA? Do you think this is a real story?
Oh my god!
But really, this is their way of warning human people that we are under siege?
Science fact.
Science reality.
Science.
Science nonfiction. I'm going to go to libraries and I'm going to move Bone Rider from the fiction sections to nonfiction.
How many physical copies of Bone Rider do you think they would have at one given library? Probably.
I'm going to donate them.
Just buy them all off of Amazon. Run Dream Spinner Press, like, just bump up their business.
You get a Bone Rider, and I'll be like the Oprah, Oprah of Bone Rider.
Go run around the streets of the city just throwing copies of the book at people, going, read it!
It's going to be like a nightmare. It's like the nightmare before Christmas. It's like the nightmare before Christmas. I'm going to dress up in Santa, and instead of giving out horror presents, I'm going to give out copies of Bone Rider.
The rider that bones Christmas.
Bone Christmas.
The rider that bones Christmas.
Yeah. And I'm going to get like a little, like how Jack Skellington's reindeer were all just bones. I'm going to find one like that will just carry me down the street. I'll just ride it. And I'll be like, Bone Rider for you, Bone Rider for you.
Why don't you go, this is Bone Rider, this is Bone Rider, Bone Rider, Bone Rider.
Yeah, exactly. What's this? There's bones in the air. What's this? I'm reading everywhere.
I want a child on every street corner reading Bone Rider.
I want to walk down the street and not only see every child, but every man and every woman and every dog and every cat and every ant and every pet and every tree and every stone and every building.
Hey, hold on! I don't think ants can read.
Hey, Ethan, you don't know that.
My aunt can read, but she can't eat pepperoni pizza.
She can't eat pepperoni pizza because it's too spicy.
It's too spicy. She can't handle it. Quick review of the chapter. I'm back in. That's all I have to say.
I'm very excited to see. So, because now they know that something has escaped.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get busy.
The military's gonna fight Riley.
And System 6 is gonna make Riley fight them. Oh my god! And then Misha's probably be like, "Babe, I'm coming to save you." And Riley be like, "I'm torn."
This is the kind of three-way that I wanted Bone Rider to end it.
Oh my god. Three-way, Misha, System 6, and Riley? Or Riley, System 6, and military?
No, Riley, Misha, and the military. That's the three-way that I wanted. The entire United States military. Is it still a three-way? If they're a conglomerate?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
They count as one. They all think with the same brain.
They're hive mind. Hive mind of boning.
Yeah. It's going to be quite the three-way, and I'm very excited. J. Fally.
Thanks for listening! Do we have anything left for this chapter, or should we just move on to the next one?
Let's move on.
Hey, let's do it! Bye! Should I